All right, we got a little bit of a weird one here today for you. We're going to do a Starlink install and try not to desecrate this historical building too much. So as you can see, this is now a museum, and this is a perfect example of a Victorian structure. It was built in 1866, and it was the original general store here. And believe it or not, that little goat path over there was the road to Toronto. Of course, it's not anymore. Now it's just a dead end. But because this is a Victorian building, they didn't really put a lot of concern into satellite dishes back in the day, because these roofs are brutal. Anyway, we'll walk around and have a look here and see if we can find a safe dish location where it's not going to make the museum look stupid. Also, here's our historical knowledge. Okay, and just as a point of reference as to where we're actually located here we are in Commanda. There's a museum, and this is Lake Nipissing. North Bay, Ontario is up here, and Huntsville's down here. So that's generally where we are. Let's look at this building. As you can see up there, we got a nasty roof, but we don't want it over here anyway because it's not going to look good. So we're going to kind of venture around and see if we can find a suitable location. Of course, I already know that we can because I've walked around before. Okay, so here we are kind of at the back of the building. That's where we started out over there. So if you look here, okay, this is getting a little bit more user-friendly and certainly going to be out of the sight of the public. So this is north. This is the way we want to face. That tree could possibly be an issue if we were to put it over there. So we're not going to put it there. We can't put it here because an ice slide will wipe the dish off. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the dish right on this corner right here. That way we're off the roof. We don't have to worry about an ice slide. And it's going to clear that gable too. It's going to give us a nice clean line of sight. Nobody's even going to know it's there. Okay, and then we're just going to install the router right on the inside here so that it can sit on this windowsill, and hopefully the Wi-Fi will reach that old church right there, which is also part of the museum. We got a good location, so let's go put the dish together and then we'll get this thing installed. Okay, so here we are. We have our standard 4 dish here. This is the exact same dish as you use for the standard 4X. The only thing that's different is the mini router instead of the big router. Same 50-foot cable. So this is the power supply, which is different than the standard 4X. My instruction manual has been stolen. It's in the guy's truck that gave us the dish, so I have to remember which way it goes. I think that this one is the one that goes to the dish. I mean, I guess we'll find out. So that makes this one the one that goes to the router. Now you have different ends on these. So this is your standard kind of Cat 5 cable, and then this is a proprietary Cat 5 cable. And this one goes in here. Let's make sure it seats in all the way. And then this one just plugs into port number 1. Okay, and then we're gonna have ourselves a little base here. Got 2 holes there in case you want to screw it to a wall for some reason. But anyway, we'll set that aside and get our dish ready here. Okay, so you just grab this, put your fingers in there, pry up, and then push down. Just like that. If you need a longer cable, we'll have those linked in the description. If you need J-arms mounts, we'll link those in the description as well. But for this particular mount, cable has to go through the mount itself. So we'll stick it through there. Tab goes up, get it in there, make sure it seats all the way in. Take your little foam pieces here, which in my opinion are not necessary, but I'll use them anyway because we got them. Okay, then you're gonna take this and make sure that it seats all the way so you can see foam through both the holes. When you take your little set screws, don't over tighten these, but make sure they're nice and snug. You don't want this thing to come apart. Okay, so I'm gonna take this guy here. We're just gonna preemptively put these in. Okay, so now the dish has to have a little bit of a tilt to it. So we're gonna try to duplicate the tilt that it would have if we're sitting on the kickstand, which is going to be something like that. And then I'm just gonna snug it down, and that will be fine-tuned after we get the thing installed. Future Greg here. So I have a bit of a weird habit when I do these installs. If you look at the mount that I used, a couple of them in the previous ones that we've done, there's been comments saying you got the dish kind of mounted upside down and the water might run into the cable. I mean, technically, you got a point there, but it's not really an issue. The dishes are IP67 water resistant. So basically, you could put the thing 6 inches underwater and it would still work for up to a half an hour. That's how waterproof they are. So it's not an issue, but yes, I should have had it tilted the other way. I've since corrected that, but Probably had 20 go out that way before I realized the problem I did. If you're interested in getting a Starlink and you don't have one already, then we have a referral link down below in the description. Just click on that, put your address in, and it'll show you the plans that are available, and you'll get a free month of service. Base plate and the J-arm. So J-arm this way goes up more height. If you go this way, it goes more out. So for this one, we want more height because we want to get up above the steel. Okay, so like that. And I'll level it when I get it over there, but let's go get the J-arm on. Okay, so here we are. Got our ladder all set up here. Got it in step ladder mode. Best ladder in the world, by the way. And let's put our J-arm on. So we're gonna go here. That way it's about as far away from the roof as we can get it. I feel like I might need to do a little bit of fascia repair work while I'm up here. But these screws are probably long enough to go right through. That did it. Okay, so I'm going to avoid putting the screw in this one because it's going to stick right through. This one I'm going to angle it up so hopefully I can go and not have it be exposed. There, that's good. 3 screws is enough. 2 is not enough. It does not have to be perfectly level, it just has to look good. I like to make sure I crank it in enough that it squeezes the tube and kind of deforms it. That way it makes it so it won't want to move. Okay, good. Let's get the dish up here. Okay, so now we're going to put the dish on. It's going to be relatively aimed, something like that. It'll tell me, and I'll fine tune it later. As for right now, that's good enough. We uncoiled the cable here. So I'm going to put the hole in the wall, plug it in, and then when it's kind of warming up and doing its thing, we will be clipping the cable, and then we'll come back and fine tune it at the end. Okay, so here we are. The dish is just right there. We're going to bring it in, put the router right here so that it can reach that building without too much trouble, hopefully. These routers are not as good as the originals. We want to drill from the inside out because that way we know we're not going to drill into an electrical outlet or something like that. We're going to do the best we can to make sure we don't hit any studs. Sometimes that's impossible, but you do your best. So we know we're going to have supports hopefully there. And on the other side, there should probably nothing there or there. So I'm just going to go right above the baseboard right there because we don't want to hit the bottom board. There's probably a 2x4 at the bottom. So don't go at the very bottom. Okay, let's drill. Yeah, nothing there. Okay, hopefully we didn't blast a bunch of the siding off. I'm going to take this out. So remember, this is going to be hot, so don't touch that. I'm just going to push anything out of the way that might be there. There's absolutely no insulation in this wall, not surprisingly. Straighten this out as much as you can. And then when you're going through, that one's just a little bit too easy. But if you turn it, eventually it'll hit the hole typically because as you're turning it, you can see it's kind of moving up and down. So we're going to take all of the excess cable and put it inside, coil it up behind that freezer. Okay, let's get it plugged in. Okay, so we're just gonna put some cable straps on here, or cable ties, or zap ties if you're on the West Coast for some reason. I don't know why they call it that. Okay, now as usual, the most important part of the install is cutting the tails off. Okay, I'm just gonna bring it down that there, I think. Grab my not usual drill for this as my proper installation drill. It's sitting on my workbench at home. Okay, so here, hole is going in on this level here, so we're gonna bring it down to about halfway down that board. Okay, so we want to go right about here for our drip loop. So pull it tight. Okay, now the water can only go away from the hole, it can't go into the hole. Okay, to seal the hole, I'm using duct seal, which is available at the electrical section at the Home Depot. I use it because you can jam a lot of it in there, stays flexible, and with a hole this size, silicone sometimes wants to fall out. And of course, by the time it does that, you're long gone, thereby leaving an exposed hole in the building. Okay, there we go. Let's realign the dish. Okay, I'm gonna go fine tune the dish now. So I know I gotta go a little bit steeper, and I gotta go a little bit more that way, which I know it looks like it's aiming into the gable, but trust me, it's clearing it. Okay, so now we've got an alignment. Confirm the app says it's perfectly good. So when we do that, just want to double check. It tends to move a little bit when you're tightening it. I'm just going to hold it kind of in place because it wants to twist a little bit when you do this too. So now I'm going to tighten these set screws. Done. Just got to tidy up the cable now. Okay, so last order of business here. I'm just going to tidy this up here. I'm going to give it a little bit extra. There we go. It already has an existing bend in it from what was in the packaging, so I'm just kind of putting it back to that. Okay, so all I'm going to do here, this is going to be up to the customer to figure out how they want to configure this, but I'm just going to set it there as we discussed. And then I'm going to, actually for that matter, I'm just going to leave this here. Because no matter what I do, it's probably going to be wrong, so we'll leave it up to them. Okay, done. Let's move on. All right, so ordinarily, this is the part where I take down the old equipment and dispose of it before the customer. But we're at a museum, and this is where this belongs, so it's gonna have to leave it. Okay, so we're back. It's been a few months. We were here, I think, in April, and now it's late August. There was actually a bunch of snow on the ground over there when we were here the last time. We're gonna check the obstruction report, and we needed to film our little outro here. So a couple things to note. First of all, that sign says Internet Cafe up there. This is not an Internet Cafe. It has never been an Internet Cafe. This is just a place where people can stop on the highway because there's no cell reception out here where they can just, do what they got to do and then be on their way. Nobody charges for it or anything like that. So we're going to have link down below for our Amazon links. We're going to put some different lengths of cable and mounts and stuff like that if you want to do these installs yourself, of course. And we will also have a referral link down below, which will give you a free month of service if you haven't ordered your Starlink already. And if we helped you save a bunch of money by doing the install yourself, you might consider using the Buy Me a Coffee to give us a little donation to help us with our channel here. We are now going to link you to the router video because this has the router that's not very good and you might need to upgrade your router if you get the standard kit. Okay, thanks for watching.